The following is a presentation of the Redskins Broadcast Network.
Welcome to Redskins Chronicles, presented by Crown Royal. I'm Larry Michael at Redskins Park. Each week here on Redskins Chronicles, we take a look at a piece of this team's storied legacy. And today's something special. In fact, for the next 3 weeks, we'll show you pieces of the Redskins Broadcast Network documentary, 18 Plays, the story of Super Bowl XXII. Before we focus on that, for the Redskins, right here, right now, they've got a 3-game homestand coming up, beginning with the San Francisco 49ers on Monday night at FedExField. Washington is 3-7. The Niners are 6-4. Both teams have lost 2 straight. Now, the Skins visited the Eagles last week, hoping to avenge their opening week loss. Didn't quite work out that way in Philly. Here's the highlights, brought to you by Ameritel.
Robert, play action fake from his end zone. He's going to run up the middle, 5 to the 10. Still on his feet to the 20, and he slides down at the 17-yard line. Looking out, floating it over the head of Kerrigan. Caught by McCoy at the 30. Kerrigan giving chase, can't get to him. Cut by McCoy at the 10 and taken down at the 4-yard line. Boy in the backfield, and he's going to give it inside to McCoy. No, Foles keeps it. Hit by Merriweather and spins into the end zone for a touchdown. 1st and 10, Philadelphia. It's going to be a screen out to the tight end on the left side, weaving through traffic. Brett Selleck across the 20 to the 15, 10, 5, and he's taken down at the goal line. Jackson comes in motion. It's a handoff up the middle to McCoy, untouched. He walks in for a touchdown. Robert, inside handoff. Roy Halou Jr. breaks the tackle, got the first down, runs to the right, 35 to the 30, open field 25 to the 20 from the 5-yard line. Robert takes. Under heat, ball is popped up into the air, and it is intercepted by Philadelphia, Fletcher Cox, and there's a flag on the play as he pitches it back.
It might be a forward lateral.
Folds back to pass, under heat, he's sacked by London Fletcher. Second sack of the year for London Fletcher, and man, that was a beauty. Field goal by Henry from 24 yards out is up, and it is good. Roberts going to give it to Alford, bursts through a hole, got the first down and more, across the 35 to the 40 to the right side, plows over a defender all the way to the midfield stripe. Foles going to play action, fake it. Got time, over the middle, it is caught. Jackson inside the 20, knocked out of bounds at the 15-yard line. Foles hands it to McCoy, and McCoy into the end zone for a touchdown. McCoy punches it in. Looking right, looking left. Looks like he's going to scramble. No, he lofts it up. Darryl Young on the sideline, caught at the 30, 25-20 to the 15, 10-5. Darryl Young to the house for a touchdown. Takes, looking right the whole way, fires, caught. Nick Williams gets the 2-point catch. Robert the bootleg to the right side. He's got time. He's going deep, looking for Robinson into the end zone. It's short. He caught it. Touchdown! Touchdown, Redskins.
He could run the quarterback draw.
Robert takes. Quarterback draw, gets hit, dives in, touchdown. Oh, 2-pointer, excuse me. The 2-pointer by Robert Griffin the 3rd. 3rd and 3. Foles back to pass. Looking, under some heat. Scrambles up over the middle. Here comes the defense. He gets hit, short of the first down. He's got time. Fires over the middle. It is caught, Lawson. He's got a first down to the 45-yard line. Big play by the Redskins. RG3 takes the snap. Here comes the blitz. Fires out to Garcon. It is caught and knocked out of bounds at the 27-yard line. Robert takes, looking left. He's flushed out, throwing it deep in the end zone, throws it up for grabs, and it's intercepted. What a backbreaker. This game is over. Final score in Philadelphia. The Eagles defeat the Redskins 24-16.
Robert Griffin III led a furious fourth-quarter rally that fell short. Here's what the Redskins quarterback had to say as the team prepared to face the Niners.
3 guys that want to win football games. We want to win. That's the bottom line. And whenever you're not winning, it creates a lot of madness, especially in where we're at right now with the Washington Redskins. So the only way to stop the madness is for us to win. And you got 3 guys, Coach, Kyle, myself, we all want to win, and that's a good recipe. You got a team that comes in this season, high hopes, and I don't think they were too far-fetched. We felt like we could come out and play extremely well, and we haven't this year. We haven't been consistent enough. I haven't been consistent enough, and It shows in our record, and it's sad for us, and it's frustrating for us because we've only been beat a couple times this year. We've lost a lot of games on our own, and that's the tough part as players because we know we're not a 3-7 football team, so that's the tough part.
More on the Redskins in San Francisco coming up at the end of today's show. And each week here on Redskins Chronicles, we focus in on a piece of this team's history. And today's something special. We kick off a 3-week series as we show you 18 plays, the story of Super Bowl XXII. It's been 25 years since the Redskins won their second Super Bowl championship. And some of the greats you'll see, Hall of Fame coach Joe Gibbs, Gary Clark, Ricky Sanders, and the one and only Doug Williams. Redskins Chronicles is brought to you by Diageo, who reminds all Redskins fans responsibility is a team sport. Redskins Chronicles is brought to you by AAA. Hey fans, join the Redskins in USAA in honoring the brave men and women of our armed forces. Visit millionfansalute.com and choose Redskins to cash your salute and help a local military installation win rewards from USAA, official military appreciation sponsor of the Washington Redskins.
All I wanted was the strength of the good Lord to get me up to walk off that football field.
We're all standing there going, oh my gosh, hurry up, snap it, hurry up, snap it.
He didn't get his hand on Ricky Sanders, and Slick Rick just ran by him.
Oh, this is a gut play right up the middle.
If you got to pay a price of getting hit for a TD, pay the price.
I don't know. It's just like, is that me?
Coming up, 18 plays, the story of Super Bowl XXII.
That's a new Super Bowl record.
228 passing yards, over 300 yards in one quarter.
35 points?
35 points.
It's almost unheard of.
Nobody does that.
We did it all. Wow. In 18 plays.
Holy cow!
That was a thing of beauty.
On the edge of failure, greatness is often revealed. The Washington Redskins were a staggering, battered bunch by the end of Super Bowl XXII's first quarter, ready to fall from heights they had fought to reach during the 1987 season.
Redskins defensively look awfully confused. I'm telling you, this offense better start producing or you can kiss this game goodbye here pretty soon.
Frustrated, reeling, the Redskins struggled to get it right when an unnatural turn of quarterback Doug Williams' knee threatened to buckle them.
And Williams looks like he's hurt. Think he hurt his left knee? I think he did. He did. He's going to have to go out.
The next time Williams took the field, he had launched an 18-play rocket ride into NFL history. But first, all eyes locked on backup Jay Schrader, who only a year before had caused a slow-burning fire in Williams. The 1986 season, the Redskins' 50th, was one of transition, especially at quarterback. A year earlier, Joe Theismann's legendary career was ended prematurely by the New York Giants. His replacement, strong-arm gunslinger Schrader, had shown promise coming off the bench. Now, in his first full starting season, Schrader was living up to that promise, setting a franchise record in passing yards and leading the Redskins to the NFC Championship against an all-too-familiar foe. On a windy afternoon that wrecked the Redskins' passing game, the Giants dominated, routing their division rival 17-0. On the sidelines, veteran Doug Williams, who had joined the Redskins in 1986 as a backup. This former Tampa Bay starter watched helplessly as the Giants conspired with the elements to blow his new team off the field. Making matters worse, Williams felt personally embarrassed after being waved off by Schrader in the fourth quarter. A stinging emotion still there.
Jay got hit and was a little woozy, slow getting up, and Coach Gibbs called me to the sideline. I was on my way in, and by the time I got halfway out there, Jay waved me back off.
They put Doug Williams into the game, and Schrader waved him off and said, "Get out of here."
For me, to be honest with you, was probably one of the most embarrassing moments that I've had and as a football player, to be waved off like that, because at that particular time, it was quite obvious that he was a little woozy, but for selfish reasons, the way I look at it, that he didn't want to come out.
As the Redskins entered training camp for the '87 season, Schrader remained the clear starter. Williams stared at the possibility that his moment of shame in the Meadowlands would be as close as he'd get to seeing the field again, his best days most likely behind him. Williams' roller coaster ride took another turn early in the preseason. Joe Gibbs put out word of a hastily arranged trade with the Raiders. Williams was jubilant, but the thought of starting again soon turned to fury.
The actual truth was we'd gone through a year with Doug, and I think he felt like that he had a lot left in the tank, and he still wanted to play, and he wanted to start someplace. All of our coaching staff talked it over, and he said, well, he may be unhappy here, and it might be a deal that would be best for him if we did try and look around and see if there's a place to trade him. And sure enough, the Raiders jumped right in the picture.
I was told by Coach Gibbs that I had been traded to the Raiders at that particular time, and I was happy about that.
Doug got excited about it. You know, you could see where he was saying to himself, hey, it's someplace where I can go and start. I got to thinking about it. I thought about it kind of all that night, and it kind of started bothering me. You know, one of the most valuable positions on your football team is the backup quarterback, because all it takes is one play with your starter getting hurt, and that can make the difference, particularly on a good football team. If you think you had a chance to go to a Super Bowl, you'd hate to see that happen. Bring Doug in the next day, and I said, hey, Doug, I said, you know, after thinking about it, I can't do this.
He told me he changed his mind.
Well, he got upset with me.
I told Coach Gibbs he can't change his mind, but he reminded me that he could, because he worked for the Redskins.
I don't work for the Raiders. I work for the Redskins. I'm going to do what's best for the Redskins.
And at that particular time, you know, I had to go with whatever decision that was made, but he did say one thing.
Hey, listen, I think you're going to do something great for the Redskins, and that's the reason why I'm not going to trade you. And Doug he kind of huffed and puffed and stormed out of the office. But to be truthful, I'd say by that night he had accepted it, and he just bared down and worked extremely hard with the Redskins. And I didn't see it ever surface again.
In the 1987 preseason, one of Joe Gibbs' gut feelings led him to cancel the trade that would have sent Doug Williams to the Oakland Raiders. His gut was right. In Week 1 against the Eagles, Schrader went down, separating his shoulder. No wave off this time. Williams made it onto the field, took his place behind center, and marched the Redskins to victory.
Williams drills it, touchdown! That is the first touchdown pass for Doug Williams in a Redskin uniform.
I think at that particular time, it made Coach Gibbs and the coaching staff feel pretty good from the fact that even with Jay starting, we got Doug who can come off the bench if we had to.
In the next game, with Schrader still out, Williams threw 3 touchdown passes against the Falcons, but not enough. 2 missed field goals and a missed extra point cost Washington the win. Still, Williams' performance had people talking. In 2 games, he had proven his worth. Perhaps more importantly, he had won the hearts of his teammates, something Schrader had yet to accomplish. The seeds were officially planted for a favorite Washington pastime, quarterback controversy.
Hey, look, I'll take that every time. Rather than having one quarterback, I got 2. I'm excited about this. Nobody is, and I don't look at it as a quarterback controversy. I look at it as you got 2 good ones.
The Redskins' quarterback situation was overshadowed by the first NFL strike since 1982, the Redskins' last championship season. The '87 schedule continued with replacement players. Overnight, the question of who's starting at quarterback became simply Who's playing? As these replacement Redskins won 3 straight games, Williams and his teammates hung tough and formed a bond that would pay off down the road.
I thought the most important thing about the strike here was the fact that the way we stuck together as a football team. Nobody crossed the line. It was tough, don't get me wrong. It was some tempers that flared, and you got to take your hat off to the guys who replaced us. They did a pretty good job.
I think we just knew how important it was to stay together as a team, to have nobody cross over that line, that picket line. Plus, Darryl Grant would have killed you if you crossed over that picket line anyhow.
Oh, you got it!
It was expected of you to be in shape, to stay in shape and get ready because we knew it was going to end at some point in time.
We came back in, we were so together as a team, I think at the end of the day it worked in our favor.
Despite Williams' strong performance, when the regulars returned, Jay Schroeder took over the offense. But Gibbs' decision to go back to Schroeder was not a final act. After losing to the Eagles in Week 8, Gibbs gave Williams the reins again, hoping to fire up the underperforming offense. Add a loss to the Rams and a minor injury to Williams in Week 10, and the game of musical quarterbacks was on again.
It became pretty intense, the competition between the two of them.
Not to say that they didn't like each other, but they were okay if the other person wasn't in the room.
I remember that it was almost divisive in a sense because there were guys pulling for each guy.
I'm a Jay Schroeder fan. I like Jay. He threw me a rock a lot, so I always like the quarterbacks who throw me the rock.
Gary Clark was his favorite receiver, so I got all the junk. You know, Gary got all the good balls from Jay Schroeder, and I was the one that he came to second and third.
But Doug Williams just a special player, very smart player. Understood the game beyond the X's and O's.
Schroeder started the last 5 regular season games, but in the final one in Minnesota, a game with playoff implications, Doug Williams finished strong.
And Joe Gibbs has opened himself up to the #1 question when he hits the locker room. Why did you replace Jay Schroeder with Doug Williams?
We was behind in Minnesota, and quite naturally, Jay wasn't playing that well. And Coach Gibbs made a decision to insert me in the football game, and we found a way to come back and win that game in overtime.
I know Coach Gibbs saw the way he would rally guys in practice, so he probably felt like, hey, let me get this guy in there and see if he can do it.
I think for coaches, it kind of plays out, as I said, on the field. You see Doug perform the way he did. And so I think you then start to getting, and sometimes you could say it's a gut feeling.
And his gut feeling was at this particular time, and the way I had played during the season, came in and won a couple football games off the bench. I think Coach Gibbs felt like, you know, it's best to go into a playoff with a quarterback that everybody has confidence in. And I think at that particular time, I was that guy. And Coach Gibbs made that decision during his post-game interview and named me as starting quarterback for the playoffs.
-3 degrees Fahrenheit, frozen AstroTurf, a frenzied, snarling crowd. That was the Chicago Bears' welcome for the Redskins in their divisional playoff matchup. Early on, it seemed more than the Redskins could handle. The favored Bears built a commanding 14-0 lead.
I think when you fall behind, in this particular case and with this team, I think they had a lot of confidence. I think they felt like, hey, we got very good football players on this team, capable of making big plays, and we could come back and had come back during the year.
Williams proved worthy of Gibbs' faith, and the Redskins rallied to a halftime tie. Late in the third, Darryl Grant gave Washington the lead for good with one of the franchise's most legendary plays.
Chases Green back to his own 48-yard line, but he's got some room. Darryl Grant. Could go. Could be all over. It is all over.
Redskins Chronicles is brought to you by Diageo. Reminds all Redskins fans, responsibility is a team sport. Redskins Chronicles is brought to you by AAA. Welcome back to Redskins Park. Welcome back to Redskins Chronicles. I'm Larry Michael. It's the Redskins in San Francisco, Monday Night Football at FedExField. And the Niners coming off a tough loss in New Orleans. Quarterback Colin Kaepernick has had some ups and downs this season, but he's certainly a dangerous double threat, both as a passer and a runner. Frank Gore has carried the load the last few years. This season, no different. Gore has 7 touchdowns on the ground. He's 7th in the NFL in rushing. Anquan Bolden signed as a free agent. He's brought a newfound toughness to the receiving corps. And tight end Vernon Davis, the former Terp, having a good year, 8 touchdown receptions so far. San Francisco is known for a very stingy defense, a well-rounded defense with a solid linebacking core. Scoring against the 49ers defense has been tough for opponents this year. They've held teams to an average of 18 points a game, 4th best in the National Football League. Monday night, the Redskins need a win in a bad way as San Francisco comes to town. We thank you so much for watching this edition of Redskins Chronicles presented by Crown Royal. I'm Larry Michael. We'll see you right here next week.